So I'm going to speak on the fake news in young minds. So I'm talking on the fake news in young minds. My name's Yasmin, I'm 18 and I'm representing Egypt today, but I'm originally from London. So I'd just also like to thank Dr. Harbin and Vinay for bringing me out today. It's a very important moment to me. So before I start on the fake news in young minds, I'm just going to tell a story that's a bit personal to me. So it has got to do with the influence of social media and the perception that people can have on you. When it was about 2015, 2016, I'm not sure if many of you know about the website Ask.fm. Yeah, so I was about 16 at the time and I'd woken up one day with about 40 messages and I'm thinking, wow, I mean, it's not my birthday or anything, like, what are all these messages from? So I actually opened up my phone and it's screenshots of people basically slating me off on Ask.fm. And what Ask.fm is, it's a website where you can make an account, or people can make an account, post a picture, and it was actually the picture that's on the board right now, that is basically used of me, and people can send in statements and questions, and it can be anonymous. You can write as a guest, basically. So it's basically people slating me off all over the internet. And people, of course, that I will never know who they were because it was actually turned into a police investigation and they couldn't actually find who these people were that was talking about me on social media. So not only does that have a bad look on me, but when you can apply for jobs, and even till this day when you can search, you can still find it because it's nothing, everything that's on the internet, no matter if you delete it from your phone, you know, it's always going to be there. So for me that was something really hard to deal with, which is why I'm happy that I have this topic, because fake news can really have something, because rumours really can spread so quickly, so easily. Like, you can be the talk of the town in 1 minute from social media, from people spreading news about you that's not obviously true, because, you know, I know what was said was false, and I mean, at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. So it's really important not to believe everything that you see on social media, because I feel like young minds, teenagers these days, we're so easily influenced about what we see, the first thing we can believe. Like in London, obviously, Meghan has actually, there was rumours going around that she'd had a C-section with her pregnancy, but she's actually still pregnant. So I mean, people were quick to like go around spreading that news, and it's actually false, and we're quick to believe it. So it's important to do your own research on certain topics that you want to speak about. It's like, you can search the link, by when you view the URL, you can actually see what kind of URL. Sometimes you get like the bogus URLs, like, you know, have you ever had emails that you would think, oh, like you're getting a tax repayment, and you click the email and it's like some completely weird email, and you're like, okay, I'm glad because they've asked for all my details. So it's really important to check. So make sure everything that you spread is fact, because at the end of the day, the news comes back to you. It will be like, oh, I heard this from so-and-so, and you've gone and spread it all around your social media, and it's something that's completely false. So it's really important to make sure that you do your own research on a certain topic that you're going to post about before you post, so that you know, what I'm putting out here is correct, true information. Even with small things like statistics that you're going to talk about, make sure that you know for true that this is what is correct, because at the end of the day it comes back on you and it can make you look silly, especially when it's on social media. And also what I wanted to talk about is how news reporters always show one side of the story. So there was actually a picture going around, I don't know, of Prince William or Prince Harry, and it actually looked like he was putting his middle finger out to the press, to the magazines. But when the picture was shown by someone else from a different perspective, he was actually just holding out 3 fingers. So the person that had taken it from the side angle made it look like it was the middle finger. So that went around really quickly, spiraling, making it look, oh, like he's a prince and this is what he's doing to his country. It was a really bad topic. And there's a website called madnews.com which advocate fake news. So what they do is post news that is actually false, but they spread it like as if it's fact. So people will take news from there, like bloggers, influencers, they'll take news from there and go and talk about it, and the whole website is actually like a fake scam website. It's really bad. So it's important to know what you read, and you shouldn't rely on lazy journalists for facts or information, especially if you're going to invest money or time into a person. You want to make sure that you know that they're genuine. You don't want to take their opinion, like take facts from someone else based on their opinion. You want to make sure that what they're talking about is correct, because loads of the time, it's social media. People will make bad news, bad rumours about anyone. They might not like a person, they may not really be interested, so they'll put bad posts about them on the internet, and you want to make sure that that is fact. And on that note, I just wanted to say, make sure that everything you post online is fact, everything you read is fact. Make sure you know where the content is coming from, because at the end of the day, social media, people can find that this is you, this is what you posted, and it's super important. So, just finishing off, is there any questions anyone has to ask, or? Yes?
As a not tech-savvy person, rather than that, what you said that when something goes like that, fake news, I think the part that you didn't really describe more than I think you should inform us, people like this, is that what happens? You said there was a police investigation, for example.
Oh.
What's the end of it? One. Two, you said that it's forever, ever there. Explain that to us, how it's forever there. And if it is going to be there, because I'm under the impression that, for example, on Facebook, now can bring down and they're becoming very conscious about this. What happens is that once people who, in an interview, see that, how is there a facility by which that they can understand that this was a fake news and that it was some sort of hostile act against you?
Yeah.
Is that sophistication there in the system of HR, for example?
Yeah, so I'll talk about the first point, which is about the police incident. So what happened was that they wasn't able to track the IP address. So what happened is that someone had obviously gone into a computer that they must be really tech savvy to not be able to have the IP address tracked down. So when I reported the incident to the police, they wasn't able to actually find the computer that it had been done from, which is why they couldn't catch the person, because they must be really computer science, really knowledge, like a hacker basically, to be able to do that. So this person was making several accounts using several, obviously, fake email addresses, dodgy email addresses, so they weren't able to track it down to one computer. So we was in London and we was getting told that it's people in Australia, they can make the IP address to any country in the whole world, so we was unable to find.
Okay, on that question, then I have the second follow-up question,
yeah?
Or maybe two. Okay, why would they want to target somebody like you? Was that completely random? One. Two, at least as a father of two that are, one of my sons is very famous, becoming more and more famous, I would say that, and they're not, on social media. Would you qualify that as being heavy on social media, therefore you're a better target for a random catch, if it's a random event, or were you really targeted as a person?
So, to the first question, I wasn't targeted because I was big on social media or anything like that. What it was is that there was lots of trolls and there was lots of people in my area, in my city, that knew about me. So what they would like to do is basically, people have things against me that for some reason they may just not like me, which is a fair enough.
So as a semi-target?
Yeah.
You could qualify?
Yeah, so people that knew me would make accounts of me. Not only would they comment on the account that was made about me, they was making several accounts commenting on other people's Ask FM.
So this was happening to other people as well?
Yeah, so it was as if it was coming from me. It was then being projected on other people's accounts, saying that I am writing these things about them, and then that obviously led to lots of confrontations, and I had no idea, I couldn't keep account of how many accounts were being made of me. And your second question, remind me, was about the second question.
Yeah, no, I forgot.
Oh, about your sons being...
No, I said that being on social media, people who are very active on social media, that a lot of young people are these days, are they more prone to fall into such traps?
To be honest, I would say so, because everywhere out there's always someone that has it in for you, someone that just doesn't like you, someone that wants to use your name to get in spite of someone else. So I feel like the more social media accounts you have, the more active you are, the more pictures you post, the more you make yourself be known on social media. It is such by chance. Like even now with my siblings, I really don't like them using social media because I know how easy it is for someone to just take your picture and your name and just go out there and make it seem as if they are talking on your behalf. Like even right now, my picture is here. Someone, for example, could take that, then go and comment on other people's accounts, so they can kind of be like a keyboard warrior.
As well to that, as a mother to my children, which Yasmin is my daughter, I'm very hot on how and where they are on social media. So at the time when she was on Ask FM, they had no social media. Number one, I didn't approve of it. And secondly, I have a duty as a parent to protect my children online. So there are protocols, although they think they're on social media, I have parental access to where they can't see what I can see. So every movement my child's doing, even though I'm here in Delhi, I can see what my children are doing.
But child, not after a certain age.
They're still my children.
No, but legally, what I'm saying is that if they don't want you to have that access, but that's a different story.
Okay, but when they're in my house, they're my child.
Okay, fine. No, I just wanted to make a provision that this is not automatic, that every mother can interfere in the...
Totally, but when they're using my Wi-Fi and they're in my
Right.
house, I'm going to see what they're doing. And in relation to the IP address, you can use your neighbour's IP to create an account. You can, some staff have told me, I'm like, what IP are you using to get this? And they said, oh, I have UK IP, I have, and they're Indian VAs or AVs or whatever it is that that are using internet worldwide, so they can create all these accounts and make themselves extremely accessible to troll innocent people.
My last question, which I think I was forgetting, was that what is the remedy for this if this is going to, because for example now Facebook, to our limited knowledge of not savvy people, Facebook now removes you, if anything hostile is against you, whereas before we said, oh, freedom of speech, if they remove it from that social platform, it still is going to be on the internet?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm trained by Facebook, just
Yeah.
to let you know. And with the training, and obviously I get everything firsthand. First of all, Yasmin wouldn't know this, but I would tell you, there's a website. So if I wanted to blog about you and say that, well, he does a really horrible person, he's done this to my business, and he's conned me out all this money, and da 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 da, I can go online and say that because I have the right to do that. You research it and find out I've done that. You can go to a website called reputation.com and you can have that removed. Okay? So this is why I always encourage people to go and search up their name. It's really, really important to do that. So you can have that removed free of charge because it's defamation of character, it's slanderous, and it's not true.
Yeah, but before at some point it wasn't.
It wasn't there, but there are facilities out there now that can do that.
So which means
In
that
relation
the
to
law,
Facebook-
my last question, sorry ladies, gentlemen, is that therefore by default the laws are being forced to be accommodating this sort of behavior or welfare of the people, which goes back right to the street rules again. In other words, it's a virtual street rule, which is if you don't behave right on the street, you'll be taken out.
Take it off.
Whereas on online, that street rule didn't apply.
No.
It's online, you can say whatever you want. So is that right to believe that eventually we will have very strict policing rules that apply online?
Well, they are very strict. Sorry, Yasmin. Can I answer that?
Yeah,
Is it alright to answer that on her behalf? The reason why I say it's very strict because there is Facebook police and they are watching you. They call it the jailhouse when you're banned for doing something against the rules, say for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, you go in the jailhouse. And that could be just talking about someone, even if it's an indirect, even if it's somebody, if you think I'm speaking about you and it's related to you, you can report that post and off you comes.
Reason. Because this all happened after those problems.
Because unfortunately, they were pro, so they've updated
Yeah.
the situation.
Thank you very much. Sorry about this.
But it's good to know.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. And you get your page shut down without even them knowing. Your page, your whole